Up to now, we have built a strong understanding of messaging and the powerful concept of event-driven architecture. We even touched upon the idea that Apache Kafka isn't just a typical message queue. Now we are going to clarify that distinction once and for all. We will directly compare traditional message queues with event streaming platforms, and you will see why this difference is so crucial, especially when working with Kafka. Those of you who are coming from the RabbitMQ course might already know it, and it'll be a good revision for you. This lecture will help you understand when to use each and solidify why Kafka has become such a dominant force in modern data architectures. So let's dive in. Let's start with traditional message queues. Think of them like a to-do list or a task queue. A producer adds a task or work item to the queue. The queue stores these messages in a specific order, usually first in, first out, or FIFO. A consumer then picks up a message from the front of the queue, processes it, and then, crucially, that message is typically removed from the queue. Key characteristics of traditional queues include point-to-point communication. That means a message sent by a producer is generally intended to be processed by only one consumer. Once a message is consumed, it's gone. For example, you hand a physical to-do item to one person and they cross it off the list. No one else can work on that exact same item again. Next, we have message deletion on consumption. This is a defining feature. Messages are transient, they are consumed and then forgotten by the queue. Traditional queues excel at distributing tasks or work items among a pool of workers. They provide a buffer between fast producers and slower consumers. Some common examples include RabbitMQ, ActiveMQ, Amazon SQS, Azure Service Bus, although some of them have added pub/sub features, publisher-subscriber feature. So when to use traditional queues? Well, when you need to distribute tasks to a group of workers, for example, image processing, sending email notifications, or background job processing, or when a message needs to be processed only once by a single consumer. Or you can use traditional queues when messages are short-lived and don't need to be replayed. Now let's shift our perspective to event streaming platforms and specifically Apache Kafka. Instead of a to-do list, think of an event stream as an unfolding story, a continuous ledger, or a never-ending tape recording of everything that has ever happened in your system. So how do event streaming platforms work? Like Kafka, an event producer publishes an event, a factual record of something that occurred. And this event is published to an event stream. Event stream like Kafka, and this is actually specifically called a topic in Kafka, which we are going to take up later on. We are going to understand topics in much depth later on. These events are written to an immutable ordered log. They are not deleted after being read. They persist for a configurable period, for example, days, weeks, months, or even years. So it depends on us. It depends on who is configuring the settings, the master configuration of our Kafka broker. Now, lastly, multiple consumers can read from this same stream of events independently or at their own pace from their own specific positions in the log. Each consumer gets its own view of the entire history or specific parts of it. Key characteristics of event streaming platforms, including Kafka, are publish, subscribe with durability. A single event can be consumed by many different consumers, each for their own purpose, without affecting other consumers or the event's presence in the log. For example, a newspaper or a public broadcast. Many people can read or listen to the same news item without the news item disappearing. Next, we have event persistence. Events are stored durably. They are records of facts that happened and those facts remain. This allows for replayability, so consumers can go back in time and reread past events. This is incredibly powerful for debugging, recovering from failures, or introducing new applications that need to process historical data. Apart from replayability, event persistence also allows for auditing, a complete ordered history of events. Another key characteristic of event streaming platforms like Kafka is that they focus on event capture and distribution. They excel at capturing all significant changes and distributing them to any interested party. Next, we have scalability. Event streaming platforms are designed to handle massive volumes of events, even millions per second, with very low latency. The defining difference is that in a traditional queue, once a message is processed, it's typically gone. In an event stream, the event stays and consumers simply move their reading pointer through the stream. Imagine a seek bar of a video on YouTube. Alright, so now let's compare traditional queues and event streaming head-on. So you can see on screen the point-by-point difference between traditional queues and event streaming platforms. Understanding this difference is absolutely critical when you approach Apache Kafka. Kafka's design, especially with advancements in Kafka 4.0 and the K-Raft protocol, is built fundamentally around the concept of an immutable distributed event log. Kafka acts as the central hub for all the events flowing through your organization. This allows different applications to react to those events independently, creating highly decoupled and flexible architectures. The durability and replayability of events in Kafka open up possibilities that traditional queues cannot offer. Imagine launching a new analytics service. With Kafka, it can read all historical events and process them rather than just new ones. If something goes wrong, you have a complete ordered log of every event. Kafka, with its integrated Kafka Streams API, allows you to process these continuous streams of events as they happen, enabling complex real-time analytics and transformations. Kafka isn't just about sending a message from A to B, it's about building a single source of truth for your operational data in the form of an event log. Now a common question: can Kafka be used as a traditional queue? The answer is yes, it can. If you configure a Kafka topic with only one consumer group and a short retention period, and you ensure messages are processed once, it can behave like a traditional queue for certain use cases. However, using Kafka only as a traditional queue often means you are underutilizing its full power. It's like buying a sports car just to drive it to the grocery store once a week. It can do it, but it's capable of much, much more. The key takeaway is that Kafka is a superset of a traditional queue. It provides the core queuing functionality, but also adds the powerful capabilities of an event streaming platform like durability, replayability, multi-consumer support, or high throughput. So now let's wrap up the discussion on traditional queues versus event streaming. Traditional message queues are for point-to-point task distribution, where messages are generally consumed once and then removed. Think to-do list. Event streaming platforms, on the other hand, like Apache Kafka, are for durable multi-consumer event logs, where events persist and can be read by many different applications and replayed. Think of an unfolding story or immutable ledger. The durability and replayability of events in Kafka are key differentiators, enabling powerful new architectures and use cases. Kafka can act like a queue, but its true strength lies in its capabilities as a comprehensive event streaming platform. You now clearly understand the fundamental differences between traditional messaging and event streaming and why Kafka sits firmly in the latter category.